Hello everyone, this is Jeremy Lee here again with this Module 1 response video for EDL 558. Yes, 558. Thank you all for being patient with me. I just found out that my YouTube video did not work. A little bothered by that. I'm going to repost it as soon as possible. So sorry not to be. I don't know what happens there, but we're going to get that rectified really soon. Meanwhile, I'll be responding to Tamara's video. I definitely appreciate her points, and I wanted to kind of touch on a few things I've read and discussed. Did a little additional research after doing my video and after watching her video, and kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit. So for my response. So here we go. Without further ado, I definitely agree that I look forward to this class. I was excited to discuss social justice, and I think you did a very great job of defining the difference between social justice as well as in between diversity. I know you said that diversity involves groups within groups that have diverse backgrounds, or different groups of people in schools, be it African Americans, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender students, or students who are from disadvantaged minorities, or disadvantaged home situations, or students who are from military, things like that. Working with these groups and realizing you have a diverse student population, whereas social justice focuses on the social justice, the justice to ensure that students are treated equally and have equal access to higher education. And I think that's something that we need to focus on when we discuss social justice, the fact that we're discussing justice and equality for all the students. And I think that it does get to be very uncomfortable. I find myself uncomfortable with a lot of conversations as well. And it challenges you to start thinking about the work that we do and ensuring that we're always looking out for the best interest of our students regardless of their backgrounds. And that can be very complicated. So I'm looking forward actually to, initially I was nervous about the uncomfortable conversations to be had in class. Now I'm looking forward to them because I'm excited to see what we learn, what we gain from them. So that'll be a really great thing. So thank you for that point on what exactly it meant between diversity and social justice. That was very nice. I appreciate it. I also agree with overall being aware. I think I started to kind of look at the topics we're discussing and deciding and seeing if however we did things, we have to make sure we're conscious of what's happening with our students. I think when we're counseling students or we're advising students, or if we're in any kind of capacity of higher education, be it student affairs, whatever, we have to be aware of what our decisions will have as far as the impact is concerned on our other students. I think that if we choose to do something that's drastic, we have to constantly mind, well, hey, this is going to affect someone differently. I think a good example of that recently has been the USW track team. I think we had an issue recently because the track team was disbanded, and one of the first questions that was asked was, should we look into the fact that the track team recruits so many African American students? It's as an issue for them getting rid of the track team because of the fact that that's a very big pool. And so instantly I was thinking about making sure our decisions we make for things like that are we look at the entire picture of what we're doing. And so I think that it was very interesting. You made that point on being aware. Privilege. I think I enjoyed your privilege conversation. I kind of started to look at the privilege myself and kind of discuss it. I was thinking about it and talking about it with most of my friends, and I realized that everyone benefits from some form of privilege. I think we learned a lot about that as student development theory as well, that everyone benefits from some form of privilege. Yes, I'm an African-American male, so I do find myself on the lesser side when it comes to privilege, when it comes to white privilege versus black privilege. However, as a male, I do receive some kind of benefit there that some other people don't receive. I think that's something to look into. As a heterosexual African-American male in a heteronormativity society, I actually will receive more privilege, if you will, than a homosexual male. So those kinds of things you have to start taking in mind, that there is some level of privilege everyone kind of will endure or have or go through or whatever have you. I think, and also you have to keep in mind when you're working with students that you have to start to learn more about them and learn exactly how to work with them and realize that although you may not have to deal with situations, they do. And we have to kind of make sure that regardless of what we're doing, we're making sure that we keep in mind what they're going through, what's happening in their personal lives, so that we can make sure they're doing well with everything they're doing, they're having, we're giving them the things that they need to have to be successful. Sorry. So I think that's something that I really took away from what you said. So kind of trying to think about those kinds of things that are really important with students. I may not personally be a homosexual student, but I need to make sure that whatever I do supports the well-being of homosexual students. And that was really important to me. And so important to me that I actually began to read a bit about the topic of higher ed. And I read an article from back in September of last year that was done by Diverse Issues in Higher Education. Really good website I like to read every now and then. And it was basically discussing diverse conversations, white privilege, and higher education. And so at the time it was written based on an interview between two young gentlemen named Joe Butterly and Adam Kundishora, of Ingenious Prep. And they're based in admissions counseling form. They help to counsel people who are working with admissions and things of nature like that. And so we kind of reading and discusses like is white privilege still a very relevant thing, and it definitely does get a good bit of insight as to what all is really going on in higher ed. The fact they believe that privileges kind of look so much on a race, and rather it should be other things such as culture or socioeconomic backgrounds and things like that. And so I actually enjoyed the article because it allowed me a chance to kind of stop and reflect and say, there's more to me than just race. It's more than just gender. There are other areas where we might find students to be more or less privileged. I also, although I was not a first generation college student, I didn't have many people in my family who went to college. And so when it came time for me to make decisions, oftentimes those who had family members who went to college, received better treatment for it in higher ed than I did in the coming out of undergrad because I just didn't have the experience of what I was doing in college. I didn't know what a refund check was. I didn't know how to work a financially, how to complete a FAFSA class schedules, things like that. I didn't know that because I never did it before. And my family had not really had the experience as well as much. So it was very different. So that kind of thing was brought to my attention then. I think also kind of looking to my fellow students who came from less than, I guess, more humble backgrounds, if you will. They definitely have received a different kind of treatment in college than those who came from more affluent backgrounds. So I think, and that's just interesting to me to see someone reflect that in there. So that article has been interesting. I would encourage you to look it up. There's also a bit of portion there about how some professors have admitted to grading African students differently because they want to try and get them a different level to ascribe to than their white counterparts, which actually kind of makes them not as equal when you do that. So that's very interesting to see. But those are my thoughts on your point. Thank you again, Tamir, for a very great reading, a very great discussion. Thank you. I will see you all in a few. Take care. Bye.